In this video, we're going to look at how to find the area of a circle. And to do that, we need to know a few things about a circle. So when we're dealing with circles, we've got kind of three key measurements. We've got a measurement right across the middle of the circle. We call that the diameter. We've got the measurement around the outside of the circle. We call that the circumference. And we've got the measurement from the middle of the circle to the outside, and we call that the radius. And we can find the radius by finding the diameter and dividing it by 2. So to find the area of a circle, we know that area is equal to pi times the radius squared. And pi is equal to approximately 3.14, and pi refers to the relationship between the length of the diameter and the circumference of a circle. If we times this length by pi, we will always get the circumference of a circle. So if we do pi times radius squared, we'll find the area, and that is, if we were to shade this whole circle in, that would be the area of this circle. It's the inside space that's taken up inside of that circle. So if we throw a couple questions up, and if you want to pause the video and try and solve these, we've got a circle here, the blue one, with a radius of 5 centimeters. And in this red circle here, we've got a radius of 7 centimeters. And on the black circle over here, we've got a diameter of 16. We'll call that 16 meters. And if we want to solve these, then the formula for area will always be the same. It will always be area equals pi times the radius squared. In the first two, I've given you the radius. So in this first one here, then, we're going to do pi times 5, which is the radius, squared. And the squared up here means how many times you multiply this base number by itself. So in this case, it's going to be 5 times 5. This is going to be pi times 25. And if you were to use a calculator to figure that out, you would see that it's 78.5 centimeters, because that's the units we're dealing with, squared. And we call it squared because there's length and there's height to a circle. When we're talking about two-dimensional shape, that's how many square centimeters would fill up this particular circle. We need to cut some and rearrange some, but that's how many it would take to fill up a circle with a radius of 5 centimeters. If we look at the red circle here with a radius of 7 centimeters, again, area is always pi times the radius squared. So in this case, we're looking at pi times 7 squared. Squared means we're multiplying this base number by itself. So we would have pi times 49, because 7 times itself twice is 49. And if we were to calculate that out, the area of a circle with a radius of 7 centimeters would be 153 and 86 hundredths centimeters squared, because there's two dimensions when we're finding area. And the last one here, there's an extra step to do because we've been given a diameter here. So our formula is always the same. The formula doesn't change. It's still pi times the radius squared. But in this case, we need to figure out what the radius is, because the radius is from the middle of the circle to the outside. So I've used kind of a nice friendly number. If the diameter is 16, we can split that in half. We know the radius would be 8. So pi times 8 squared. Again, squared means times the base number by itself this many times. 8 times 8 is 64, so we're looking at pi times 64. And if we were to calculate that out, we would see that the area of a circle with a diameter of 16 would have an area of 290